guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing like kind of an impromptu spring TBR, and I am just gonna come off the bat and just say I can't believe it's spring already. I literally feel like it was just autumn and winter, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really a spring type of girl. I'm more of like an autumn, fall, winter type of person. So a lot of these books on my TBR aren't really the most spring based in terms of like synopsis or like the setting, but they kind of remind me of like kind of give me the essence and vibe of spring. So whether it's like the environment or the cover or just something that when I were to randomly look at something and be like, okay, this is what I wanted to add onto my spring TBR, these are the books I'm going to be adding. I'm gonna briefly kind of go over the synopsis, and all these books I have not read. Bear with me because I am going to be using my phone to kind of look at the Goodreads, like the little synopsis, and kind of give a little gist of an idea about it. Also, don't mind my hair. I do not know how to do my hair today, and it was kind of a last minute. This was a really last minute decision to film this, and I'm like, you know what, I want to film this. So I'm excited. I'm excited to kind of share my spring reads. These are 7 books on my spring TBR, and books I definitely want to read for this time frame because it gave me like the feeling of them. A lot of them I kind of went for like fairy-like, botanical, you know, something based on the like cover, and something with like animals. Those type of things just make me think of spring regardless as well. So I'm excited, and let's just get started into this video. Okay, so the book we're going to be jumping into is The Astonishing Color of After, and it's by Emily Pan. This book is pretty much based off of, I think the main protagonist, her name is Lee. Her mom committed suicide, which is in the synopsis, and she turns into a bird. So she goes back to her hometown, and I guess the day of her mom's suicide, her mom's death, she ended up that same day that her mom committed suicide, she ended up kissing her childhood crush, I believe. It's like her best friend or her childhood best friend. So it comes with like the grief, the guilt, and just trying to find her mom again. And she goes back to her hometown where her grandparents are and just unfolds all these like family secrets and everything about her mom and a lot more, as well as uncovering some of the guilt she probably holds. I do think basing off of the synopsis, this will have some trigger warnings just to let you guys know. And yeah, but this is, I kind of chose this cover mainly because I don't know, I think swans, and I don't even think this is like a swan. I don't know if it is a swan, it's like a crane, but white birds just make me think of spring because I actually, when growing up, there was like a little park near my house and there was always like swans around there, and for some reason when I see swans I just think of spring. So yeah, that's pretty much like the gist of it. I want to pick this up, and it's kind of heavy, but I think this is something I've heard that it has a lot of great emotions within the book, so I'm excited to pick it up. The next book is A Natural History of Dragons by Marie Brennan, and I chose this because I kind of think the way I saw it was more of like a field guide or more of journal entry, like a study, and for some reason I kind of just imagined her like within that setting. The main character, she is one of the biggest naturalists, I believe, in like study of dragons, and it's about her just bringing about the truth about dragons and their lifestyles and where dragons derive from, like, and uncovering like the myth about them. I don't really know much about it, but I've heard that some people like it, some people didn't like it, or they didn't like it, but I feel like I would actually find it interesting because I'm like a biology freak. Like, I love animals, I love studying life sciences, so I feel like it'd be really cool to see like a mini field guide on something such as dragons, and to see like a little like her notes and the document put into them. I think that'd be really fun. And it also kind of gave me as well something like her going on an expedition and uncovering the truths about these dragons, and I just feel like that kind of matched the whole spring. I believe there's 2 books in this, so I'm excited to see if I do like it. I would definitely pick up the second one. The next book is a common book you have probably seen everywhere, and it's Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Faeries by Heather Fawcett. Other than the cover literally giving a spring vibe, it's about she goes on an expedition, our main protagonist, and it's supposed to be like a romance as well. There's like a romance, I guess her partner comes along with her, and they go on an expedition just studying fairies, and they're trying to find like legendary fairies, kind of like these like really secret rare fairies, and it's about her going through the expedition. And I feel like it's kind of like the last book I just spoke about that would kind of give me the same essence of spring. So something with like field guides, the studies, and like field notes. I feel like that would be really, really fun. I don't know why, but I feel like that'd be really cool to see like journal entries and her notes and the documents. And I guess it's also about her going on her expedition, and then there's like little frustrations such as the townsfolk and the fairies like within the world that she's studying. They kind of get in the way. Just like at any other job, you're gonna have some things that kind of get in the way, and I just feel like that'd be like a nice complacent read to pick up for spring. Something not too crazy, but also has like a little bit of romance. And if I do like it, I really hope I do. The cover and the editions of the books that they've been coming out with are so pretty to me, and I would just love to have a copy of this if I really do like it. So I'm excited to pick it up, and I kind of want to read about the romance because I've seen some people highlight a few lines in there and it looks really cute. So I'm excited to see what it's all about and what everybody's obsessing about. Okay, and the next book is actually the 4th book within this series. It's by Scarlett St. Clair, and it's A Touch of Darkness. It's a Persephone and Hades love story. I have been kind of reading along with the series for quite a while now, and I've been waiting for this one to come out for quite a while. I actually didn't know it was out already. The reason why I wanted to pick up this book, and it also kind of gave me the essence of spring, is because within the other books there was always gardens within the underworld, not the otherworld, but gardens within the underworld, and I feel like that would be just like a perfect setting. And especially the way that, the one thing I really liked about these past books is maybe not exactly some of the characters in the books or some of her writing, but how she explained like the gardens and the underworld and how the goddesses utilize their powers. I felt like it was really, really cool to kind of read about, and I feel like reading about, this might be the final book, I'm not for sure, but reading about Demeter's and how she grasps her powers, and I believe she is the goddess of spring. If I'm wrong, I'm gonna put it up here, but she's the goddess of something involving plants. I believe she's the goddess of spring, or the goddess of plants, or harvest. No, her mom's the goddess of harvest, something like that. Anyways, I feel like that'd be really, really cool to read about, especially in the spring. And I also wanted to pick this up mainly because the last book ended on a major cliffhanger, so I'm excited to see that. If you guys have been following along with these books, the 4th one is out, and I have to read it. I have to know. Even though there's certain things about these books that I wouldn't say I would particularly like, but I want to continue it, and if it is the last book, at least I can know that I finished it, because I literally have all 3. I have all 3 books, and if I do like it, I'm gonna get the 4th one because I have to have all of them. But I'm excited to pick that up and see what it's about. The next book I have been wanting to read is Belladonna by Adeline Grace, and the main reason I kind of chose this is because the cover looks really beautiful and it definitely gives me a spring vibe. But after I read the synopsis, I realized this is definitely not like a spring book, but I like reading books like this, like kind of like little dark, little eerie, kind of ominous type of vibe. And it's about the main character, I believe the main protagonist, her name is Signa. She was an orphan baby, and she grows up within this like wealthy family, and who ends up taking care of her. Obviously that's her family, they grow up together, and something happens where her family gets an illness, and when she realizes her family's in grave danger, she tries to find out where all of it's coming from. I'm really butchering this synopsis really, really bad. She finds out where this danger is coming from, and I'm not for sure who, I think there's a love interest, but she ends up working along with Death himself. I just feel like that sounded really cool, because the whole synopsis, I was like, yeah, that sounds interesting. But then when I saw the last part where it said that she works with Death, I thought that was really cool. And it kind of reminded me of The Secret Life of Addie LaRue. So I'm excited to pick it up. I just feel like I would really like this. It was something I never knew that's what the synopsis was about. I've heard people talk about this book, I've heard mixed reviews, but I'm excited to give my take on it and to see what I really think about it. And I want to see the character of Death. I want to see, well, in the book, but I want to see what it entails, and is there romance? I'm really curious, so I'm definitely gonna pick this up for spring. The next book I wanted to read for quite a while now, and I'm pretty sure I brought this up on my channel multiple times, but I really want to get to it for sure. And it's not really a spring-based book, but the cover definitely gives me spring vibes because of how colorful it is. But it's Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt, and this book is about the main protagonist. Her son mysteriously vanishes off of a boat, and during her coping period, she ends up working at an aquarium, I believe, and she befriends a little octopus named Marcellus, and I think that's so adorable. I just think the whole synopsis sounds really, really cute, and I feel like it's going to be also heartwarming and dealing with grief, and I'm just really excited to read it. I want to see how it ends. I want to see if she even finds her son, and also to see her reaction and her relationship with the octopus and how she befriends the octopus. I've always been so obsessed, like I said, I've always been so obsessed with marine biology, and aquariums are like one of my most favorite places to go. And I just think it'd be so cool to kind of see the vibe of her workplace, like her working at the aquarium at night, and see like little mundane tasks and mundane things, because I just think it'd be so cool to work in an aquarium, and while you're cleaning it, you're literally looking at all the fish that are swimming in that giant tank. And it's also kind of sad too because they're in that tank. But I am really excited to read about it, and I want to see what's gonna happen. I want to see if it ends up being a happy ending. So I'm excited, and literally the only reason I chose this for spring was because the cover is bright and colorful, but the synopsis itself, which is like the other books, aren't really the most positive, like spring positive. But regardless or not, I'm really excited. Lastly, the book I chose is A Venom Dark and Sweet by Judy Lin. This is actually the second book from her other book, A Magic Steeped in Poison. I ended up actually really liking that book a lot, and I love the political aspect of it because it wasn't too crazy. I think it's like a young adult. There's a little bit of romance. I wouldn't say it's really that drastic, but it was good enough for me to where there's like, okay, there's like some romance in here. It's like a little smidge, and also it's like a mystery. So it's kind of not really like a mystery, but it's like you're kind of trying to find out what's going on. There's like a conflict. So the main thing is that there was a poison, like a tea that's, I believe that, or there's the teas have powers. So every time they steep a tea, it gives the townspeople or whoever the drinker, I guess, powers, like some type of power. So something as like healing or just something really lyrical and endearing. Like their powers are like more something like that. Nothing where it's like mega strength, or I mean, I don't remember. It's been a minute since I've read this book, but I remember it having some type of qualities to them that were help the people, and that's where the main protagonist grew up. And she ends up trying to find this tea that's gonna heal, I believe, heal her mom who was sick. This is so long ago, so I may be butchering it, but this is the second book. And the last book, there was a lot of conflict that happened within the castle walls and within the political side of it, but it wasn't boring. Like, I'm not a political person when it comes to reading, but it was enough to where it was actually really cool to see the political aspect of it within the book, to see the qualities that the tea provides, and to see how like steeping it can help the person or help the person making the tea, and what it does, and how it became also like it kind of got thrown into a political sense. So I'm excited. There's some things that I want to know about. There's some things I want to know, and I want to know if the romance kind of blossoms a little bit more, because it only blossomed a little bit in the first one, but there's some things that just weren't answered. So I'm really excited to see the second one. And also the main reason I chose this is definitely because it's cover, because it's just colorful and bright, even if it's not exactly, but I do think that it kind of takes place in a really lush setting where there's like so many flowers and plants, because that's where the herbs are grown. So I'm hoping that this will kind of still give off a spring essence. But regardless or not, I'm so excited to pick up this book and to see what's gonna happen in the second one. I can't really go in depth about it too much because I don't want to spoil it, but I really did enjoy the first one, and I did like her writing style. So if you guys are interested, her writing style was really poetic. It was really nice and easy to follow. It wasn't too flowery either, and it was just a good book. It kept me interested, and I loved it. I also love the covers of her books. I like the dust jackets. I think they're so gorgeous. Okay, so that is it for these 7 books I really want to read for spring. I'm sorry if I didn't really I kind of butchered the synopsis really badly, but I know they're not the most florally and super spring based synopsis, but overall these are books that like I said, I look at them and I think of spring. I look at the covers. They're like based on animals, they're based on just the vibe that the book might give, and overall these are the books I probably would have picked up for spring. Again, I'm not really like, when it comes to books, I don't particularly want to get all the like the florally, you know, I want to read books that I want to read even in the different seasons. And I love spring and autumn, or I love autumn and winter, and regardless of not, I still want to read like sometimes like something that's like a little bit eerie, or something that's like a little bit like a mystery, not really a mystery, but trying to solve like a conflict, or something like the tea, like something poisoning the town. You want to know what's going on. But anyways, I'm not gonna dive too much into it, but these are the books. And if you guys are interested in picking up these books for spring, let me know what you guys have thought of. If you guys are interested in picking up any of these books, let me know what you think of them without spoiling it. But then if you have read them, let me know what you thought of them, because I'm really curious. These are books that have kind of been on my TBR for quite a while now, and I'm kind of devoting them for spring, because when I thought of a spring TBR, these are the books I automatically looked at, and I was like, I think this would make a good pick for my spring TBR. So I'm excited to see what I think of them, and I can't wait to share my thoughts with you all. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys on the next video. Bye!